I'm in here on the weekend. That means I'm working on my own stuff. I've got the P3 gauge here. Guys at ECS hooked me up, sent this to me, and I can't wait to get it on. This is basically a custom digital gauge for the Golf that I'm going to be putting on in order to monitor boost, EGT, and all the other little functions that are controlled through the factory ECU. So here's how it looks when you open a box. Got a little quick start guide, shows you the wiring and stuff. That's pretty cool. Here's the harness. This is actually like the OBD version. There's two versions. You can get the standalone version, which you'll have to wire your own stuff to it. And then there's this version that has the OBD integrated, which you'll get a little module right here that goes in between. So here's our harness. This plugs right into the OBD port, which in turn then plugs into this, which in turn then plugs into the gauge, which is still in this protective wrapping. So I'm gonna get this stuff out, unboxed and ready to install, and I'll get the Golf in here, get this pretty little Supra out of here, and then we'll put the Golf in here and start doing that. So as much as I hate instructions, I read the instructions. And the first thing it says is before installing it into the vehicle, test it out. So we're gonna go ahead and plug it all in first without removing the vent. And that way we can actually see what this thing is doing, make sure that it's working. You can see here it's a pre-installed setup. It's really cool. And it's already installed in the vent. You can do this yourself if you want. I opted not to because I know I'll break it. So I went ahead and just ordered the new one with the vent, and it also makes it easy if I ever want to go back, I can just remove it. So before I get into breaking my trim panel, which I'm sure I'll do somehow, I'm going to plug it in. Here's the first part here. Okay. That plugs into this. Easy. And then here's this part, which plugs into this. Standard stuff, nothing big. Not even going to tighten that. And then I'm going to plug this in down here where the OBD port is. Okay, so that's plugged in. And now I'm going to turn the key on. Find it. Guessing this will light right up. Alright, found the OBD port, couldn't find it, now I got it. Now we're just going to go ahead and start the car, and this should light up. There you go. So here you can see the display, it's working good. So we can go ahead and continue on with the installation. I like the colors. This is a red and white, so it matches the gauges too. So factory gauges, pretty cool. So we've got the old vent out. A little bit of a bear, but the old vent is out, and I took the trim panel off of this one, and I put it onto the new gauge and vent. So now we're ready to put this in. We just got to pass this cable. There's a hole in the side here. We'll just pass the cable through there. I already routed the OBD from the bottom up through this side area as well. So it's pretty straightforward once you get that stuff in place. This is just gonna pop right in. Like that. That's it. That's installed. So now, very OEM look. Nicely put in there. You can see it's just a nice finish because it just uses the factory trim panel. So now we'll just finish up the wiring here on the side, and we're good to go. So you can see the little boxes right here. This is all tucked in, and we're just going to put the panel back onto the side, and that will complete the install. Here's our side panel. That just pops right on. Easy. And that's it. Simple as that. Good, like 10-minute install, nothing too crazy. You just got to be careful taking off that vent because this definitely is not that easy. It will break if you start forcing it. So work that kind of slow, and then it should be fun. Let's go ahead and start this up. And there you go. So you can see gauges are all there, and you can go through the different modes. And this is cool. We got the RPM here. Pretty sweet. I want to try out there's a 0 to 60 mode on here as well, like that. So we'll test all this stuff out, but just wanted to get that put in and show you guys something I think is pretty cool. I think it adds a little extra to the whole effect. Now we've got this cool gauge that we can kind of go through and get all of our different settings. Battery. There's a bunch of different settings on it. So hit them up. Check out ECS Tuning. Check out the P3 gauge and see if they got it for your car. All right, so we've got the V-Box set up here. Just put it on a dash, and I've got this gauge set up for 0 to 60. So we're going to try and compare the two. So I'm going to go ahead and start the V-Box up here, and then we'll go ahead and start our 0 to 60. I also need to turn off the traction control, so we got a little extra there. That's off. Radio off. AC off. All right. Ready? Ready? All right. 0 to 60. 6.04 according to the gauge right there, which is pretty good, I think. That's a pretty strong 0 to 60. Man, that really makes me want to get into the 5s. So that was pretty good. So 6.04 there. The V-Box, which might be a little bit more accurate, is showing a 6.3. Still pretty good. I'm pretty excited about that. So you should have been able to see that and feel that or hear that in the video. There was some wheel hop. When we get the insert for the dog bone, that should get rid of some of that. But pretty impressive. 6.0 there, 6.3. Take your pick. I think the V-Box is probably a little more accurate because this is using the speed data off of the speed sensors, and we know that that's probably reading a tiny bit high. So either way, we're deep in the 6s. That's pretty cool. And it's a good way to actually create like a baseline. We'll be able to test when we get the bigger turbo to see what kind of gains we get off of it with that. So awesome, thumbs up, really happy. We'll see you guys when I get that turbo. So there you go, that's it. That's the P3 gauge install. That's the first of a few mods that we have coming for the TDi. I know you guys want to see that TDi stuff. So the next thing that's coming is the dog bone insert. So the dog bone insert is going to give us a little bit stiffer connection so that there's no wheel hop. We don't get as much wheel hop or axle tramp or whatever you want to call it, axle hop. I want to try again after we put that dog bone insert in because I think that it'll probably get a little bit better out of the hole. So I'd like to see what we can do with that dog bone insert. And man, dog bone, that's convenient with the dog in the background. We'll see. I'd like to maybe crack that 5-second barrier for 0 to 60. That'd be pretty cool without even upgrading the turbo. But the upgrade turbo is the next big step. In case you didn't see it in the other video, we have an upgraded turbo coming for it. This is a GTD turbo that's been modified. So the GTD turbo is a little bit bigger than this turbo to begin with. And then it has an upgraded wheel, which is a 56 millimeter compressor wheel. So hoping for another 50 to 60 wheel horsepower, which I think we can do with the upgraded turbo. So fingers crossed that gets here this week. and we can get that thing going. So stay tuned and see you in the next one.